Hi friends, this is Sarah from Crafting and Relaxing. Welcome, welcome. This is Joy of Blue, and Joy of Blue is a collaboration that I put on to get people to use more blue. People who might lean into the pink a bit, like Beth at Bourbon Creek Crafts. She made this card. And maybe people like me who just love blue, but anything you want to make doesn't have to be paper crafts, and you can just use the hashtag, and you can follow the hashtags and bounce around and watch everybody's videos and see what they made. I did something a little different this month. This was not my idea. Right before I left last month to go to Kansas City, has it been last month already? I'm still catching up. There was a video, Gail Augustinelli had a video, and she was referencing, I might get it wrong, but I'll put it in the links below, Shabby Dabby Doodah, I think. And it was about making an embellishment book. And that's what I have here. I loved it so much. I was inspired and I made one for Nancy and took it to her and completely forgot to show you guys. Like, I think I saw the video when I was on the treadmill that weekend, and then I made it that day or the next day and took it to her. The idea is super simple and it is amazing. You can go and watch the Shabby Dabby Doodah video. I'll link it down below, but I'll tell you the basic idea. You take 4 pieces of scrapbook paper or paper you don't love. Like, I was never going to color this, and I'd been dragging it around and hadn't used it as a journal page. And then you sew them with your sewing machine. I was at the beach, so I just used embroidery floss and stitched it together. You could staple it. The spine is going to be trash, so you could just wet glue it and fold it if you want it. Then you glue either created embellishments that you have sitting on the counter or scraps and layers into it, and at varying levels of done. So you'll see when you watch Scrabby Dabby, when you watch the original video, sometimes she just puts she'll just put like one layer down and then she moves on. So what I've done in mine, I'll just flip through to show you the idea. And I have luscious amounts of blue in here as far as layers for books, because this paper had blue. I mean, we're good for Joy of Blue. I'm feeling it with this. And some of these things were, I was at the beach and I had bags and little boxes and all sorts of things that maybe I had packed up at the beach sometime, maybe were in a bin. They were totally MIA. And it was time to use them. This was sent to me years ago. This, I think Tanisha sent me a couple years ago. One of you sent me this super cool embossed blue vellum, which wasn't holding up well, but oh my gosh. So I just went through and started layering things and said, oh, this would be cute. Oh, this little string. Oh, this sticker. And then glued them down. Some are new items. You'll recognize those tickets. Some are old. And the way I did it was I'd pick up an item and I would just look at where it went in the book. So I didn't start, okay, first I'm going to do the green section, and then I'm going to do the taupey tan section, and then I'm going to do the pale pink stripe. Yeah, I did that. And then this one, I just picked it up and went, okay, what paper would I like to have as an additional layer? Then when you go to use them, you literally will just tear around it. Or you could cut with scissors if you're nervous first and then tear a little bit. Or if you're a person that likes everything really straight, you could cut them all with scissors. But just think about how this extra layer will look behind your embellishment cluster. And here's the best part. So I'm going to do a flip so you can see it too. Make sure you get to see it all. The best part is it stands up on the counter. So instead of having piles or bowls or things that are falling on the floor, this will stand, and you could have several different ones on the counter to look through and get your inspiration from. Look at this one. I love how this turned out. I think this was a sticker one of you sent me, and I put it on a purple tissue box and then trimmed around it. Still, don't send me any more tissue boxes. I'm good, you guys. Don't need happy mail. Oh, but Kathleen, she went nuts. I'll share that with you later. Thank you, Kathleen. I got the box. I was gonna message you and then I got sidetracked. It's just been really busy. I have to tell you what else I messed up on too, because you guys were probably waiting for a video that didn't show up. Okay, life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. It was an ephemera tag, you know, with the big rounded, and it just wasn't me. So I cut it off. Everything that I touched, I picked it up and went, could I cut this, trim this, layer this? If not, I just threw it in the burn bag because we were at the beach, and somehow that's freeing. Look at this one. They were just things I'd been dragging around. This was on a page from a video a while ago, and the piece of paper, I think it was 8x8, had been on the counter, and it kept getting buried and moved around. And so I had already taken the belly band section off that you guys liked, but I took all the other parts and put them in here. I had bits of a sewing pattern with me. I had some great quotes that I hadn't done anything with. I left these kind of neutral. You can still come in with your focal point, whereas Joy and Pure Joy, they're already set. This one could still use a focal point. You can use that last layer to tie it into your project. I think they're awesome. They're super fun. Great way to clean your room, use up some stuff that maybe you don't love. And I'm curious to see if I use these faster. Now, to me, if this is still sitting here in 6 months or a year, just as I made it, then maybe this isn't a great system, but I really think it is. And I'm gonna try standing it up on my counter. I'll insert a couple photos of Nancy's for you right now so you can take a peek at the one I sent her. It was completely different because it just depends on what you grab and what you have out. In Gail Augustinelli's video, she had an idea where I was like, oh yes. What she was talking about was doing a Christmas one. So imagine when I go to clean up all my red, white, and blue, which I haven't decided for sure if I'm doing July daily. According to my calendar, I'm supposed to be prepping. Anyway, but you could clean up from a theme or a color. So you know that point when it looks like Christmas threw up in your craft room, or you have winter and snow and everything everywhere, or you have all red, white, and blue. You could make one of these, clean it all up, close it up nice, put it in with your holiday stuff for next year. And when you went to make a December daily, a July daily, or layered journals, you would have all these embellishments ready to go in the right color palette. That's kind of cool. Or you could make one out of the right colors that you know your friend would use and then send them to them. Now, what I don't know, because I gave Nancy hers, is how much it would cost to mail this. But I think you could put it in a 9x12 envelope for not very much and mail it, as long as it wasn't too thick, which I don't think this is. And, or if you took off, if it didn't quite fit, you could maybe take off like a 1/2 inch and then it would fit in the envelope. But be sure and take off the 1/2 inch and figure out how you're gonna mail it before you make it beautiful. Okay, so Joy of Blue. I had all sorts of joy making this. It was wonderful. Check out the other collaborators, and if you're looking for a fun idea to get some inspiration, this is such low pressure that it's just super fun. A lot of these things, I was like, I have been hauling this around forever. It's just time. Like, look at this. This was one of those dried paint things from the bottom of Andrea's paint pouring cups. And then this was a heart that one of you had sent me. I mean, some of these items have been around for years and they had just gotten buried in different ways. I found some little tiny boxes when I was at the beach that were tucked into iris cases or other bins, and I went for it. I hope it inspires you. Okay, I had an oops this week and I forgot to roll out the process video for these cards. So I do have a giant section edited. It's not the whole one. It's maybe like the first half. It was loaded and almost ready and I just forgot about it. So that is going to come out Sunday, which is Mother's Day. So if you're in the US and you celebrate Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day. I'm going to roll that out Sunday morning super early. So if you want to watch that with a cup of coffee before your grandkids come, it's a long one, but it'll roll out early. I just need a little more time to finish it up. Joy of Blue is always the 12th. So, you know, once I realized I had a problem, I was like, oops. So sorry about that if you were waiting for the video, and I should probably work on editing the rest of it too. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you're taking great care of yourselves and enjoying a bit of spring in your area. We are headed for a heat wave here in Oregon, maybe more than we wanted. Bye-bye.